Dirty D.
Fast.
That's Dirty D. The dirtiest dude around. He handles all of corporate America's dirty work.
Yo, Bad Bitty, how you be?
I'm bad, Dirty D. You're still dirty, I can see.
Let's deal, baby.
What's going on? We going to be talking about today the car apocalypse. Unfortunately, it's not looking too good in the car market. The media is doing a really good job of suppressing the data and reality of what is going on in the car market. It is not good. I've said that previously many times throughout this year. I'm going to get right into it. Someone that's more aligned with the car market than I am. I don't necessarily talk that much about cars. I definitely am somewhat of a car enthusiast, like most guys typically are into cars. I am pretty much into cars as well. Yet, it's some content I'm gonna share that kind of speaks volumes of what is actually going on, what the media is suppressing, and why other avenues of media is important to kind of shed the light on what actually is going on and what the media is hiding. Okay, so I'm gonna get right into it. Share this guy. His name is his channel's name is Easy Car Buying. Okay, I'm gonna share his content right now.
The great car market reset is here, and it's now in 2024. We never thought we'd see legacy manufacturers like Volkswagen having to shut down plants and lay off workers, Stellantis having to potentially part out some of their brands, Ford losing money on the sale of every single vehicle, Nissan closing doors, CFO hitting the road, and CEO taking pay cuts. Doesn't matter where you look, even Toyota is impacted by this entire industry shift. And what the market is promising now is instability, volatility, unsure. You don't know today if you're buying a car that will be here tomorrow. I mean, there's a lot of examples, and I'm going to share some of those examples of some of the biggest, ugliest car manufacturers today that may not be here next year or the year after, or they might be gobbled up or consumed by other brands. Things are tough. They're rough. Cost of living crisis is eating everybody. Less people are buying, and the only way a lot of these cars are selling is through aggressive incentives, as we're seeing a lot of some of these price point pushes. 7.3% is now the percentage of a transaction now that has gone up to average transaction prices of $48,000. And a lot of these vendors are eliminating all of their lower price point vehicles. Mitsubishi getting rid of the Mirage. That was the only vehicle under $20,000, with the flavor going to a lot of vendors now trying to pitch their electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles. All this added technology is pushing customers out the door. Customers can't afford it. Buyers don't have the money for this increasing levels of cost in these manufacturers of these lot of vehicles. Let's just break this down. I mean, talk about some of the legacy brands. I want to
I'm gonna pause it right there and say it's not just the car prices are stopping people from buying cars. It's not necessarily the prices. Okay, people were complaining about the prices of cars back in 2020. I remember it was a complaint as far as how many cars were available, and even used cars were spiking. People still bought cars because they had jobs to buy cars as well. They had more job security. So see, that's another factor. Like people don't like. There's a thing called job security. If you're not secure because your neighbor down the street lost their job and you're hearing about all of these layoffs, probably not going to buy no brand new car. You're probably not going to buy no brand new house. It just that's just obvious. No one is going to put themselves, unless they're just ridiculous, to get in some type of new car that is basically they got to pay for. Without adequate job security. They're just not going to do that. They're not gonna get a new debt payment or something that they have to pay, knowing that basically their job security is not high. They're not confident that their job is going to be there tomorrow, or next week. People not gonna do that. It's just not gonna do that. That's a factor that economists know about, that type of thing. But this is what I'm talking about. Okay. Let me show you this. Let me pivot here and show you this right here. This is the actual added jobs for 2024, October 2024, which they're going to come out with the November hiring figures. Let me make this bigger. They're going to come out with the November hiring figures as far as how many actual people were hired. So it's two figures. It's the figure of job openings, and then it's the actual figure of hiring. So here's the thing. I'm going to tell you, as someone, with just basically just general common sense, not an economist. I do know quite a bit about it, economics, because I majored in business in college. That was my first major. So one of the things about this figure here, this is the actual jobs that they actually hired people for. Now, the media spent it with, I did a live stream a couple of days ago. They said that it was because of the hurricane and natural disasters that they didn't hire people. Those are the lies. That was the propaganda that's being pushed to cover basically the basically oligarchs and plutocrats that have these companies that have basically set the tone for this. They basically only hired in the entire United States, with hundreds of millions of people. They added 1,200 jobs in October of 2024. Okay. I'm going to tell you just understanding, just in case you don't know. And I don't even have to go to Chicago. Northwest Indiana alone can absorb 1,200 jobs. 12,000 jobs, right? Northwest Indiana can, within a week, they can hire 12,000 people. Because that alone is probably enough people that's willing to take positions or whatever, that 12,000 people can feel that. You don't even have to go to Chicago to fill that that requirement as far as jobs. Just in Northwest Indiana, with a decreased population, as compared to Chicago, would be able to fill 12,000 jobs. So what, obviously this is the entire United States that they hired 12,000 people. Okay, so that, and that doesn't include, okay, what if people already had a job and they added another job? Doesn't include if this was part-time, doesn't include that. And what's going on is, and you see a lot of people complaining about this, they have all of these ghost jobs because they want to make it seem like there's a whole bunch of jobs. So here's the thing, right? The reason why they do this is a couple ways. The reason why they do this. One of the reasons is on the national stage, they don't want people to panic. And that's why they, hide data. They hide, certain actual realities that are going on. So they basically hide certain information, certain realities that are actually going on. So again, obviously these companies, they're not trying to take on new employees. They have some type of, I believe that they're trying to initiate some type of sequence like they did in 2008, where they want people to not be gainfully employed. Okay. And when I say we or they, I am talking about the plutocrats and oligarchs. Now, okay, I know you think that being a millionaire is a plutocrat and oligarch. No. Okay. The plutocrats, give me 1 second. I'm washing some clothes. Let me pause something for a second. I'll be right back. Let me put something on commercial real quick. I'll be right back. Let's see here.
Welcome to alsherbs.com, the oasis for your wellness journey. Our mission is to promote good health and reduce the risk of disease by providing a holistic approach to well-being. From the soothing scent of lavender to the invigorating kick of ginseng, we've got you covered with a wide array of herbs, supplements, and wellness products. Imagine the power of nature, harnessed and delivered right to your doorstep. That's the alsherbs.com promise, and it's a promise we're proud to keep. Shopping at alsherbs.com has truly transformed my life, says one of our satisfied customers. The quality of their products is unmatched, and I've never felt better. And she's not alone. Countless individuals have found a one-stop shop for all their wellness needs at alsherbs.com. It's made a world of difference in my life, another customer shares. And what's the secret to our success? It's simple. We believe in the power of holistic wellness, and we're committed to providing the best products to support your journey. Whether you're boosting your immune system, seeking natural remedies, or enhancing your fitness routine, we have everything you need. The path to a healthier, happier life is just a click away. Visit alsherbs.com today and experience the transformative power of nature. Take the first step towards a vibrant, fulfilling lifestyle. alsherbs.com, where your wellness journey begins. Improving lives.
All right, I'm back. There definitely is something going on that is not right. It's an imbalance. And this all correlates to a lot of different things. You could say crime, It's associated with evictions, foreclosures, repossessions, stagflation, people not wanting to buy, goods, services. A car is a good, it's an expensive good, but it's still a good, something that you buy that you kind of need, right? If there's no money flowing properly and there's no job security, people stop buying stuff, right? So that's why this is very, very important. This is very, very dismal. Now, let's see if we can find the job openings of October, same year, same actual month. Let's see if we can find job openings in October 2024. Let's see if we can find the actual job openings. Okay. All right. So this is straight from the horse's mouth here. This is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So it says the number of job openings was little changed at 7.7 million on the last business day of October. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported today over the month hires changed little at 5.3 million. The number of total separations was little changed at 5.3 million. Within separations, quits 3.3 million increased, but layoffs and discharges 1.6 million changed little. This release includes estimates of number and rate of job openings, hires, and separations for the total non-farm sector by industry and by established size classes. Okay, the number of job openings was 7.7 million. Okay, now this is from basically the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and this is actually what actually happened. This is what out of the 7.7 million quote unquote filed openings, they hired 12,000 people in the entire country. So that's what actually happened. Okay. Now they probably most likely already have the November figures, but this is why people can't afford to buy cars. That's why they're not buying cars. Okay. Let's get back into this here.
Share some of these because this is getting downright ugly. Things are happening in the manufacturing sector that we've never seen before. I mean, not at this scale. Sure, you've seen brands like Pontiac go away. You've seen brands like Saturn go away. Yeah, these are little one-offs, but those usually were the writing on the wall, and quite often they were pretty predictable. But what we're talking about are major legacy brands. I mean, start with Volkswagen. They're actually closing potentially 3 plants. There's all kinds of pushback They're talking thousands of workers getting laid off. There's all kinds of disputes now because the unions in Europe are very strong, and there's all kinds of usually clauses in some of their agreements that hold everybody accountable. And usually the workers have a lot better protection. But if there's no buyers for their cars, that means no cars are going out the door. That means you don't need workers. Something has to break. And Volkswagen is feeling it more than almost anybody today. With all of the losses that they're seeing, prices are definitely going. Obviously, prices have nowhere to go but down, but they're not. You would think that prices would go down, but prices continue to rise. A lot of unfortunate moves on Volkswagen part was how can I say this? Ill-fated. It was a bad decision. In my own personal opinion, we're seeing Volkswagen decided to go all in with EVs, and they got in a little too much, a little too soon. And now they're giving up on some of their ICE vehicles. The quality's not there on products like Jettas and some of their full-size SUVs, and people aren't buying them. The product line, the quality's not there, and they've gone all in with electric vehicles, but nobody's buying them. Sales of EVs are down in Europe, and that's impacting Volkswagen in a big way. It's not good. But the VAG group we're seeing is also Porsche. You know, Porsche was going to go pure electric with their Macan, their Porsche Boxster, as well as a lot of their brands. They were going to shift entirely electric. Well, the latest news this week is they've elected not to. And so even Porsche, as part of the Volkswagen Audi group, has decided to provide an internal combustion version of the new restyled Macan and the Boxster. And they're going to create a new project line that does include internal combustion drivetrains. Again, just after a year earlier, they were talking about they were going all electric. Okay. Audi, same struggles, same problems. Their e-trons, e-tron GTs are not selling. Nobody wants them. And for the odd one that does sell, they're aggressively incentivized. So they're barely selling, they're struggling, and people aren't buying them. And then the odd person that wants to get out of it through either a lease or walk away from it in a year or 2 years, they're finding that depreciation is literally beat them down. You know, you're seeing vehicles that are now worth about 50% of what they were originally. So there's no question the VAG, Volkswagen Auto Group, is struggling right now. Mercedes, I didn't even realize this, but their stock prices are taking a nosedive. Prices are not what the consumer ordered. I mean, I was in the dealership the other day and I saw prices for vehicles that are absolutely gone ballistic. What happened to a $50,000 C-Class or $45,000 C-Class? Now they're $80,000, $75,000 for a decked out C300. What has happened? Even some of their lower, the GLBs are now up in that $72,000, $75,000 Canadian. I've never seen that. These vehicles were $40,000 2 or 3 years ago. Where have they gone wrong? They've also lost a lot of their V8 customers, and nobody wants the brand anymore. It's overpriced. It's a facade of what it used to be. The quality's not there. People aren't buying them. Nobody wants a V8 powered an AMG product that used to be V8 and now.
So yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on, okay, with the car market, okay. And here's the thing. If you wanted to you don't really have the time to go delve into being an economist and learning about the economy and stuff like that. All you need to know is, what are the two biggest purchases that people are going to make? Usually a house and a car. For the average person, it's a house and a car. So when people are having problems where they're losing their car, most of the time their housing situation also is unsecure as well. So it all flows with one another. If people are having problems paying for their car and having, problems with getting their car repoed and stuff like that, they're not gonna buy another car. If they got their car repoed, they're gonna buy something used that doesn't necessarily impact used cars. It kind of hurts the new car market in a way, because if people buy used cars, it's no need to hire workers to make new cars, right? If people are not buying new cars, they're buying used cars. That what will it be the need for factory auto workers to make new cars? Okay, so it's something that definitely is kind of going on, where the media is not telling you, they're not telling you what's actually going on. Okay, so this is like kind of one of the most kind of this is like 2 months ago. It's a repo crisis, right? So if the car market is like that, the repos are going on.
We are at CarMax today, and they're struggling just like a lot of the other dealerships, but they have one huge advantage. They don't have any new cars, and they don't have to worry about all the new car manufacturers.
Yeah, CarMax is one of the biggest used car dealers in America.
But they're kind of all tied up in it because they buy all the used cars. And generally their big issue is they overpay for vehicles. That was what was going on a year or two ago. Now, they've definitely gotten a lot better, but this vehicle right here is still selling for over MSRP. But, I mean, it is a desirable vehicle, so I understand. But this was their big issue a few years ago. Yeah, this is literally MSRP, 6,000 mile for a 2024 Sequoia TRD Pro. But yeah, you could literally go buy one and just sell it to them. But who knows what they bought it for? Most likely they bought it for around 82, 81, because their average gross profit per vehicle is around 2,500 on the front end. And they also make more on the back end. And we're going to get into all that. So if you don't know, CarMax actually increased. They've had a pretty good year overall somewhat. But the problem they're having is they can sell more cars, but people are not making their payments. So they increased their loan loss provision pretty dramatically. They're getting used cars out, but they had to increase that loan loss provision. And what that is basically people that got an auto loan through them and did not make their payment. If you don't know, CarMax offers in-house financing. That's a huge advantage that they have that any other dealership does not offer. Look at this 22 Wagoneer Series 1, 45,000 miles. Man, I don't even want to know what they paid, because I don't even want to know, but they probably paid MSRP during that time. Wow, they took a hit. They took a hit, but they had to increase their loan loss provision. So people are not making their car payments. That's the issue. Yeah, they're selling cars somewhat, but the issue they're having is just getting people to make their car payments. And they have that advantage of being able to do in-house financing. And so being able to do in-house financing, you can get more deals approved without having to go through lenders. And it's a little bit harder, whenever you have to go through different people. So they have that advantage, but it's also very profitable for them. So who knows how much they make on that stuff, but it's a lot. 35,000 for a 22 Wrangler. Let's see. Will it zoom in? It has 26,000 miles. Not too bad. They've gotten a lot better on buying these vehicles. I'll say that. I still am not a huge fan of CarMax, and let me say why. So you have to pay a little bit of a tax, in my opinion, to have the convenience. Yes, the convenience can be nice. We're going to check out that 4Runner and see. The convenience can be nice, but at the end of the day, for me, since I'm a car guy, I'm in the car business, I would rather negotiate, go to 10 dealerships. I'm going to fight for a better deal, but it is difficult. It does take time. You can come here and buy a car easy, one day, quick and easy. You can be out of here in an hour. No negotiating, no nothing like that. So there are convenient parts of it, but there's something you might not know. Did you know that your salesperson here is full commission? There is, I think during the first little bit, you get paid something. There's no sticker. Yeah, no, I don't see nothing. But literally, so your salesperson here is full commission. Like for the first month or two, you get like an hourly, but after that, you get like $200 per car. You get like $100 if you sell warranty, and then if they finance with you, you get like 50 or whatever too. So it's definitely a lower paying sales job, because car sales, if you don't know, I mean, I've made $15,000 in a month. You know, car sales is a very, very up and down business. You can sell a lot of cars in 1 month, make a lot of money. The next month you can make no money. Here, it ain't like that. You're going to make, $3,000 to $5,000 a month. But at the end of the day, I was just shocked that they're full commission, considering how their values, like I thought they valued the customer enough to be like, we don't want our salespeople on commission, because we want our salespeople to really be here for the customer.
So that's the car market right there. And like I said, if you can't pay for your car, most likely is more things going on. So we got, basically Copilot here, AI. This is what eviction filings for 2024 so far. They say basically in different states, it's fluctuating, but the highest eviction rates is in Dallas, Texas, and Houston, Texas. That says it saw significant eviction activity. The demographics over the past year, about 58% of evictions defendants were women, with the disproportionate number being Black and Latino.
Message.
Okay. Foreclosure data 2024. According to Adam, which is a foreclosure database website, foreclosure activity has been declining overall, but remains elevated in certain states. States like Nevada, Florida, and Illinois have the highest foreclosure rates. Wouldn't you know? Foreclosure starts, there were 30,227 properties with foreclosure filings in August 2024, a 5.3% drop from July 2024. Completed foreclosures. This is the completed process of the foreclosure. Once, just in case you didn't know, a completed foreclosure, you no longer have any legal rights at that point. The actual foreclosure is fully processed. The bank actually owns the home at that point. They get the house back to their possession. Can't file any bankruptcy. You can't do any modifications or anything like that to save your home. It is already out of your possession, back to the bank. That is what a completed foreclosure is. So the completed foreclosure, it says, have also decreased, with 5,500 properties sold in July 2024, a 3.7% increase month over month, but a 9.6% decrease year over year. Okay, so this is according to the different websites here: evictionlab.org, gao.gov, and bluehubcapital.org. Okay, so the evictions and the foreclosures, it's a lot more evictions than foreclosures so far, but there are some rises in, it's say, Illinois, Nevada, and Florida. Okay, so it's kind of going through the motions. People are going through the motions as far as trying to pay their rent and pay for their mortgages. So this is you probably seen this guy. He does evictions a lot, I think, in the Memphis area, I believe.
Also, the court about to make entry. Need you to come to the door. About to make entry. Also the court. Also the court. Inbound appearances, make yourself known. Also the court. Also the court. Also the court. Hello? 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 You want me to come in? I'm a process server. There's an eviction.
Right now?
Right now.
Okay. I gotta put on some clothes.
Okay, I'm gonna start downstairs taking pictures. Give you time to get yourself together. Then once you get up and get ready, start gathering all your personal belongings. You don't want anything because we bag up everything. We set it outside.
This is the combination of the reality of I don't need a manism, independentism, right? I don't marriage ain't for me ism, forget needing to, I don't want no roommate. If he ain't taking care of me, all of this stuff, all of these things, like you got to understand. There's reality and then there's the internet. Okay. Like on the internet, people say whatever they feel they want to say on their mind. They want to come off like, they're better or whatever. They want to say something that they want to be actually a reality, but then when you see how they actually live and what they're actually going on, they got a totally different reality. This is all of the, people commenting on Facebook and watching Pop the Balloon, watching TV all day. I took a picture. Here's another thing I gotta say, right? People are really, really, really cash strapped. And nobody really hardly is talking about it. Like, for example, I do DoorDash. I'm not rich, I'm not no rich guy, and what I'm seeing is people are actually, in order to like have food, because they have a food insecurity, they're trying to use DoorDash as a mode of getting free food, because it's easier for them to do that, I guess they say. Like, So DoorDash actually is cracking down on people trying to get free food, because this is what they'll do. They'll go on DoorDash, they'll order some food, and they'll say they didn't get it. And it's like, you know, DoorDash is obligated to give them a refund, right? If they didn't get it. And how they do it, and they all tell each other, they all share on Reddit and all of that. You know, they tell each other, people know about the gimmick or whatever. So this is what they'll do. They'll say, I want the food delivered at my door. And what they'll do is they'll come to the door and get the food, so you don't take a picture. You used to have the option in the app, because the app is, it's a multi-billion-dollar app as far as the value of it. DoorDash, I'm sure, has a whole bunch of developers that work for them. They make money, and to keep that app running, and they make modifications, they make changes all the time. They used to have it where you just tap the button. If someone came to the door and they gave them the benefit of doubt, they would say, I handed the delivery to the customer. Well, one of the things that I noticed is, and this is like the last, I would say, 90 days, they don't have that option to hand it to the customer. It's either, if you order food or whatever you order, because it's way more than food. You have to, if you choose deliver at the door, they have to take a picture. It doesn't matter if you're, because unfortunately, a lot of people that do this, unfortunately, are single, like Black women that live in apartments. Most of the women that I see, either they live in a house or they live in an apartment, and they're doing this. And it's like, the thing is that I don't think all of them are doing it intentionally. I think it's like a habit. Sometimes you're so hungry that, and Black people are very, very hungry. Black people, it's like, man, by the time and it's funny memes and stuff on there, like TikTok, like by the time you get to the person's door, a Black person already outside your car door, like trying to get the food. Like they be like really, really, really thirsty and hungry. So they be like right there. And I like that. I love when people are like, I can just drop the food off and then go. I could drop the order off and then I'm out the door. But what the problem is there some of these people are scamming, and what they're doing is like I say, they say, oh, I want the delivery at the door, and then they'll come to the door and pick it up. So you don't get no picture. You just gave them their food. You're not gonna be like, so you gotta give them, you gotta basically take a picture, and it's like they're right there. So you trying to hold the food up and take a picture and give it to them. So it's kind of difficult, right? But it's like, yeah, that's what people are doing. And then another thing they're doing is they're not answering the door when you come to it. And a lot of these people live in apartments. Like, when you live in an apartment, I get it. You want what everybody else want, but one of the things that you find doing DoorDash, and even me in this channel, and talking about people's financial deficiencies, is they have very, very bad financial habits, and it kind of keeps them in a situation where they're constantly in a bind and stuff like that, in financial disarray, because they continue to make decisions like ordering out. Like, you really shouldn't be ordering out when you don't have money. You You should be cooking food at home. You should be cooking like one pot meals for, that'll last a couple days. Storing food, like having essentials and stuff like potatoes and stuff, vegetables and stuff. So you're not supposed to order takeout. Even in my book, like the Millionaire Savings Plan, you don't just start the Millionaire Savings Plan when you're so broke that you don't have any, you barely have enough food. You want to wait till you at least have all your bills paid, have adequate groceries, and then you want to start off. You start off with like $500, and work your way up to 1,000 to get on step one. You don't just start the Millionaire Savings Plan when you're cash strapped and you're broke and you don't have any money to barely feed yourself, and you're facing evictions and stuff like that. You just gotta try to do it another time, when you got a better financial situation. But the thing is that they're trying to basically use DoorDash to supplement their food insecurity. And you gonna hear stories like it's poverty stories, right? So the children are gonna grow up and then they're gonna say, yeah, my mama had to scam DoorDash to get so we can eat because we ain't had no money. Like, and a lot of this stuff is just kind of the decisions a lot of times what women make as far as who they choose to be with as far as mates, and also not having a man in the house, like not having someone that they're providing for them and all of that, and they cohabitate together and they get along, and things of that nature, like these these women here, they'll rather be independent than agreeable or submissive, so that puts them in a situation where one is too least, right? If one is close to zero. So when you don't have a man, when you don't have a husband, right? You're close to zero. So it's a lot of times people have a lot of financial issues because they're trying to do everything by themselves. They're trying to be super woman and Superman, right? And it does not work like that. It wasn't designed to work like that.
Yeah, give me a chance to get my own stuff out.
No, it doesn't work that way. I wish I could, but once I'm here, the only thing we can do is execute this writ.
All right.
All right.
Paper, get a call Monday. They sent the paper off now. Y'all hear me?
What paper you talking about?
They put a paper on the door. We need to call the office, talk to the lady, pay the rent. $1,220 to be exact. $380 for the court costs, and then the rest of the rent. She said, hey, well, we're not gonna send the paper off, just pay the rent. We paid the rent. This Monday, they called and told us that we had to leave. That's why I'm trying to figure out why you're here. And we just found out Monday. Like,
So you saying you don't owe any money?
no.
So have you had some incidents here, like fighting? Or
No.
I'm not saying I'm not putting anything on you, but it's two reasons they do evictions. One is for money, other is like incidents, like trouble.
No.
So you haven't been no
I
trouble.
have nothing on my background. You can run my name. I can give you my social. I have nothing on my background.
So I wonder why.
They have all their money. My rent not behind or none of that.
Well, it has to be some reason they're doing it then.
What you say?
And you gotta you one of the things is like noticing certain things. If you notice, you probably looked at that TV. You notice also the TV is on. And you hear stuff as far as like, yeah, rich people don't really watch a lot of TV like that. I don't know if that's necessarily true or not. I would say probably it is true, because you got to understand, once you become very, very affluent financially, your life is a movie. Your life is a TV show. You don't really need to watch TV, because it's like, okay, just like I said, I did the video, imagination, right? Even if you don't have whatever amount of money you want to have, you should start, trying to visualize it and try to move towards it. Like, the thing is this, right? If you have $500,000 in the bank, right? It's not like you probably will be watching a lot of TV. And the reason being is you'll probably most likely be planning a trip to go somewhere and experience life. Like, if you got $500,000, you got $5 million in the bank, you're not probably going to be watching TV. And then you're probably going to be busy, because whatever you did to make that $500,000, $5 million, you're going to be probably very, very busy. You're not going to have time to watch TV like that. But one of the things that you find, because people are just, they have their problems. Everybody has to grow, right? It was one time that I used to watch a lot of TV and I had cable. I'm not coming from an approach that I'm just, a perfect person and I ain't have issues as well. Like, one of the things I'll say is that while you watching TV, if you have problems financially, right? You have problems financially. One of the things a lot of times, and a lot of people have problems with this. One of the things is that a lot of people don't consult other people. If your friends are not well to do or not better as far as financially speaking, that means you got to go out and reach and talk to others. And a lot of times Black people as well have a very bad problem, and it's not just Black people, but people have a problem reaching out to others for help. And it's not like, obviously people have a problem with therapy. Black people have a very bad stigma with therapy. And they also have a problem in the same tone of reaching out to others. Like, for example, I overcame certain things like this. I mean, it was like a situation where I pretty much, I used to watch a lot of TV, and I had my TV, on a lot and stuff like that. And it's like, you're dealing with possible eviction. You're dealing with financial problems. You don't need to be watching TV. You need to be trying to figure out how you can make some money. Like, you shouldn't be watching TV when you're about to be evicted. You're about to be homeless. You shouldn't be in a house, in your place or apartment, watching TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's not, it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't, you know, but it's like, the thing is if you have, I can kind of tell the type of person that she kind of is. I mean, obviously, like, you know, 85 octane, she kind of looks like a stud. She probably would knock out any woman that probably tries to give her some type of advice. She probably will start beating their butt. And women do this a lot because if you trying to tell them something or give them some advice, they think that you're goody two shoes and you're better than them. And women have a very difficult ego. They have a very, very bad problem with ego, and they don't like to be told, you know, what to do, and they don't like to be given advice, because you giving them advice is offensive. It's like you telling them that they're doing something wrong if you're giving them advice. And of course, like, you know, women are very, very hardcore over other women. Those will actually be fighting words. And women have to be very, very delicate when they talk to other women, because women will fight other women at the drop of the hat. Especially, it just doesn't matter. As far as even masculine and feminine women will fight each other, because they really, really sensitive about their ego. So when you're in a situation like that, the only thing can happen is life will, you know, basically give you all the advice that you need to have. You know, life is just going to steal on you and tell you, okay, you know, basically you either gotta, you know, duck or, you know, fall on the ground. And then when you wake up, you know, from getting stole off on, you can figure out, okay, I need to do better. You know, I need to do something different, you know, and that you know, a lot of times that's what happens. You know, people are wasting their life away.
What'd you say, Livy?
And also you got to understand is that a lot of times it's about your family structure. If your family structure was, you know, broken home, you know, your grandmother, she's, you know, single, you know, the granddaddy died, your mom was a single mom, she was struggling, she might have been on drugs. What can you do? It's not like, okay, women could be brought up to be princesses in that scenario. You know, the daddy, he makes the daughter the princess. The mom, she don't necessarily, you know, give their daughters princess treatment. Some of them, but you got to understand when the mom is under stress from financial independence, trying to be independent and you know, basically deal with men and, you know, basically be independent at the same time and working, they tend to make their daughters like them, just kind of masculine, you know, aggressive, because they're trying to protect their daughter. In their mind, they're trying to protect their daughter from the world, you know, and make sure they can go out and make a living independent of men. And, you know, daddy is the one that, you know, makes the woman, you know, the princess, you know, make sure they wear dresses, make sure they, you know certain values, you know, and that's how that works. And you know, a lot of times people criticize certain women and stuff like that too, like, you know, women that are you know, kind of dykes and stuff. But the thing is from the aspect of, you know, being a sociologist, you know, as far as education, you look at the full picture. You know, it's like, you know, I call them masculine Maxine. Well, masculine Maxine did not create herself. Masculine Maxine was created by a single mother that basically, you know, got pregnant by a guy, and then they split up, and she had to be raised by her mother the best way she could. And a lot of times that's a lot of dysfunction involved with that. Some, not, you know, some single mothers are able to hold the fort, right? Not all single mothers are the same. It's not all single mothers, you know, are quote unquote ratchet, and then they teach their daughters to be ratchet. That's not what I'm saying. It's not a one size fit all situation. You got some single mothers that they have a family base, they have some income, they might be educated or a professional of some sort, and they're able to make a living. They're able to kind of give their children some type of hedge from the ills of the world and the ills of society. Not all women are single mothers are able to do that. You know, you got a lot of single mothers that do live in government housing, may be dependent on government subsidies, and live in environments where it is higher crime, lower socioeconomic levels of income, and it's a rough life. So the women have to grow up in that. They have to go to high school in that environment. They have to go to grammar school in that environment around guns and drugs and you know, crime, and they have to be rough. You know, you see that in Gary, Indiana. You see a lot of women like this in Gary, Indiana. They have to survive all of those years of roughness, and you know, that's, you know, you mimic your environment, you mirror your environment. You know, you have to live in that environment, you have to survive. So they, you know, they kind of, unfortunately, you know, by proxy of survival, this is the best they can do, I guess, in a sense of trying to address that to you, how they got here. Whether you look at it as weakness or you look at it as dysfunctional, you know, that's how that goes.
That's what you say there?
Yeah. I mean,
No court notice, no shit. Like, how the fuck? Nobody go to court. Y'all just had to go to court. And then 3 days later, y'all pop up in the house like, what the fuck you did? Everything, huh?
total. It's gonna look like it was when they first moved in. When you first moved in, nothing.
So yeah, that's what's going on, man. You know, I'm here, you know, giving you the reality of what is actually going on, like what you know the media hides. You know, you may or may not know what's going on. You know, so you can take the certain steps so you can be you know, defensive, you know, towards your financial future. You know, you have, you know, an idea of what actually is going on, how bad actually it is, and you know, what you could do about it. You know, So this is another one here. This is people are going homeless. You know, it's all flows. You know, it's just like a life cycle. You know.
This is the kitchen. Okay. Okay, I like this unit. How much did you say rent was? This unit is $5,000.
Choose to renew our lease in August. It's going to cost us $4,008 a month.
But I'm literally working just to pay rent for us to have a place to sleep.
I work more than full time. I work more than 50 hours every week, and I can't qualify for an apartment in most states in America today.
And she was taking me up to this room and she was like, oh my God, you're going to love it. It's a 1-bedroom. It's $2,800, but it has a big balcony. Oh, it has a big balcony, bitch. Does it?
$1,800 for a studio apartment downtown, minus $200 parking, minus utilities. Like, what the fuck? How are you guys living? How are you guys living? Please tell me.
Rent prices are out of control. Landlords are gouging tenants, and people are struggling to find affordable housing. Let's dive into the world of rental nightmares and see what people are saying about this housing crisis. And yeah, one more thing, subscribe, because my subscriber increasing rate is lower than inflation. So subscribe to beat the inflation. Let's start with something chill.
And this is the kitchen. Okay. Okay, I like this unit. How much did you say rent was? This unit is $5,000. Oh no, I'm renting, not buying. I know. $5,000 for rent, not including utilities. Does it come with a family or? If money is an issue, I can refer you to someone else. No, money's not an issue. You said it was 5,000? Yes. Yeah, that's what's that, like 1,000, like 5 times or something? That's how numbers work. So yes. Yeah. So the deposit will be $3,500, including first and last month's rent, plus the application fee, which brings you to about $17,000. See, my real issue are these cabinets. Are these made of real wood? No, sir. See, there's a problem. I'm allergic to fake wood. Can't even touch it. I'm sorry to hear that. I can show you more expensive units if you... I'm parched. Do you have something to drink? Here you go. Thank you. So tell me more about the neighbors. Your closest neighbor is a lawyer. Very nice. And what do you do for work, sir? Oh, well, I've had some experience in the legal system myself. Oh, like a judge.
Bring back $900 rent. I keep telling y'all we all need to go on a rent strike. Every state all together at the same time. That's the only way they'll stop increasing rent. And what safety nets do you have in place for all of the people who are suddenly going to be unhoused? This is by no means...
This is what's going on. So, like I've been reading Proverbs a lot. You know, Proverbs is like one of the books of King Solomon in the Bible, and basically, in short, I'm gonna find this passage, but let me try to find. I'm gonna let this play. I'm gonna find this passage.
Means the first time I've seen something like this, but when we're talking about irresponsible organizing, this is what we're talking about. Telling people to put their housing at risk, knowing full well that many of them have nowhere else to go, and if they get evicted, that means they are on the street, to just stop paying rent and do a rent strike without doing any of the work to provide like safety and safety nets and support for those people is incredibly irresponsible. There should absolutely be rent caps. Rent should be lower. Rent is insane. The rental market needs more regulation. It's out of control. And yes, a rent strike can be a way to achieve that. But if you do not already have all of these safety nets put in place for the people who are going to be striking, it's going to fall apart incredibly quickly. And the most vulnerable people will be in even worse places than they were at the beginning. You need to have infrastructure in place for this to work.
So my lease ends in like 7 days. And I told this bitch I don't want to spend more than $2,200. And she was taking me up to this room and she was like, oh my God, you're going to love it. It's a 1-bedroom. It's $2,800, but it has a big balcony. Oh, it has a big balcony, bitch. Does it?
So let me play this here. Cause it's like, you know, people like myself, you know, people like even Alonzo Hall, you know, all-star advisor, you know, sell, you know, basically different insurance products and just kind of like asset income based products, you know, to kind of help you in your financial future, right? Different other people, I mean, that are in the finance space that are giving you advice, okay? And I don't know, it's just the universe just, you know, kind of, you know, reaches out and it tells me, okay, well, you probably need to read the book of Proverbs. And I just put it on before I go to sleep. And then boom, you know, next thing you know, it's lights out. But I'm gonna play this here because this is like, you know, it's kind of like what I'm talking about as far as, you know, people not listening to advice, you know, people not respecting what you know, and not even, you know, they can get it for free and they still won't take it in. So here, this is what this says. You know, this is like the first chapter, I think. Yeah, chapter 1.
Cherish her, and she will exalt you. By my mother. Do not say to your neighbor, come back tomorrow, and I'll give it to you, when you already have it with you. Do not plot harm against your neighbor, who lives trustfully near you. Do not accuse anyone for no reason, when they have done you no harm. Do not envy the violent or choose any of their ways. For the Lord detests the perverse, but takes the upright into his confidence. The Lord's curse is on the house of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the righteous. He mocks proud mockers, but shows favor to the humble and oppressed. The wise inherit honor, but fools get only shame. Proverbs 4. Listen, my sons, to a father's instruction. Pay attention and gain understanding. I give you sound learning, so do not forsake my teaching. For I too was a son to my father, still tender and cherished by my mother. Then he taught me, and he said to me, take hold of my words with all your heart. Keep my commands, and you will live. Get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget my words or turn away from them. Do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will watch over you. The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. Though it cost all you have, get understanding. Cherish her, and she will exalt you. Embrace her, and she will honor you. She will give you a garland to grace your head and present you with a glorious crown. Listen, my son, accept what I say, and the years of your life will be many. I instruct you in the way of wisdom and lead you along straight paths. When you walk, your steps will not be hampered. When you run, you will not stumble. Hold on to instruction. Do not let it go. Guard it well, for it is your life. Do not set foot on the path of the wicked, or walk in the way of evildoers. Avoid it. Do not travel on it. Turn from it and go on your way. For they cannot rest until they do evil. They are robbed of sleep till they make someone stumble. They eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. The path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full light of day. But the way of the wicked is like deep darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble. My son, pay attention to what I say. Turn your ear to my words. Do not let them out of your sight. Keep them within your heart, for they are life to those who find them, and health to one's whole body. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Keep your mouth free of perversity. Keep corrupt talk far from your lips. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Give careful thought to the paths for your feet, and be steadfast in all your ways. Do not turn to the right or the left. Keep your foot from evil. Proverbs chapter 5. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Turn your ear to my words of insight, that you may maintain discretion and your lips may preserve knowledge. For the lips of the adulterous woman drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil. But in the end she is bitter as gall, sharp as a double-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps lead straight to the grave. She gives no thought to the way of life. Her paths wander aimlessly, but she does not know it. Now then, my sons, listen to me. Do not turn aside from what I say. Keep to a path far from her. Do not go near the door of her house, lest you lose your honor to others and your dignity to one who is cruel. Lest strangers feast on your wealth, and your toil enrich the house of another. At the end of your life you will groan when your flesh and body are spent. You will say, how I hated discipline, how my heart spurned correction. I would not obey my teachers or turn my ear to my instructors. And I was soon in serious trouble in the assembly of God's people. Drink water from your own cistern, running water from your own well. Should your springs overflow in the streets, your streams of water in the public squares? Let them be yours alone, never to be shared with strangers. May your fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth. A loving doe, a graceful deer. May her breasts satisfy you always. May you ever be intoxicated with her love. Why, my son, be intoxicated with another man's wife? Why embrace the bosom of a wayward woman? For your ways are in full view of the Lord, and he examines all your paths. The evil deeds of the wicked ensnare them. The cords of their sins hold them fast.
See, it's a whole bunch of game, man, in the Bible, man. It's a whole bunch of understandings in the Bible, man. It's just like it's crazy, man. How much wisdom and it's just way out, man. But the thing is that you got people. What I'm trying to tell you is, and I'm talking soft for a reason. I'm talking low for a reason. You got people that do not listen to people's wisdom. They don't respect other people's wisdom. Okay? So it's those that know because they've been through it. People do have solutions that do work. That is a concept that is not foreign. And what a lot of times people have a problem with is listening to advice, even if it's free. Do you know people pay a lot of money for advice, thousands and thousands of dollars for advice, tens of thousands of dollars for advice? People pay consultants hundreds of thousands of dollars for advice. And you have the miracle of the internet and YouTube for people that are educated, people that have done research, people that have lived their life. They done bump their head and they know something about, okay, I was telling people, get a house, buy you a fixer-upper, get a property. My homie, listen, one of my homies from college, he actually bought him a property. And he ain't even really doing that good, but he doing the right thing by buying that property because that property in a good neighborhood he gonna make money off of it because he bought right. Other people that ain't listening, they having a problem with homelessness and all of this stuff. I gotta live in my van now. You know, I was playing video games and having a good time making money, and I wasn't saving. I wasn't taking life serious. I wasn't taking wisdom serious. Like, this is the thing, right? I get it. You want to blame the older people for your problems and you want to do all of this stuff. People are not going to have a rent strike. You know why people are not going to have a rent strike? Because people, most of them are doing okay. A lot of them, are doing so-so. Very few people are like not being able to pay their rent and stuff like that. Like, it's not enough people. It's a lot of people that, they own properties. They own rental properties. It's like, okay, the person that is not, paying their rent is a particular type of person that you know of. They're usually independent, meaning they're a single man or a single woman with kids or without, and they're trying to do everything by themselves. That's the first, like, if you want to look at, like, if you're a detective and you're trying to investigate something and you're trying to look at, okay, who are the perpetrators here? The perpetrators is single people trying to do everything by their goddamn self. That's the perpetrators in the scenario of, man, I'm complaining about, I can't pay no rent and all that. I mean, I know it's people that have couples and they can't, but this is the thing. Like, and it's not the thing about, okay, my channel should be bigger and people don't listen to me. I get it. But one of the things that I was going to say that I was trying to, get to in that Proverbs audio book basically was, they said, when you don't listen to wisdom, basically you just laugh at the person that didn't listen. Basically, like, be joyful about it because they didn't listen. They don't listen to people that have advice, narcissism, and ego. I know the right way. I know more than you. You're just some older person that's got dry nuts and doesn't get women or doesn't have a woman or whatever. You're just a loser. I'm not going to listen to a loser. Wow, he's broke and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not, all of these things that you have in your head. Even if you don't want to listen to me, there's other people that are not, quote unquote, broke or whatever, even though I'm not broke. I pretty much announced that, I think either last year or earlier this year, I am not broke. I just like this channel. I like the growth that I've had over the years. I keep coming back to this channel. Now, I'm probably going to be going to my other channels and kind of build those up because, I need to do that. But the thing is this. People don't listen. People don't listen. People do not listen. People have a listening problem. And who has that listening problem. And it's a particular segment, and it's a particular generations that have a problem listening. And they also have a problem recognizing reality. Okay? Like, if you have a problem listening, most times you probably have a problem recognizing reality. And taking the steps. Maybe, I think they do understand reality. I do think people do understand reality, but they don't want to take the steps further to deal with that reality. What do I mean by that? The fucking fix is in. These rich oligarchs and plutocrats are there. Let me put the basically the wealth chart here again. This is real. This is the reality. You got the super uber rich way at the top. The unequitable wealth distribution in the United States. You should know that if you've been watching my channel. This exists. You got the rich elite all the way on top Mount Olympus looking down. That is pretty much a lot of discrimination, a lot of red tape, a lot of this and a lot of that. Why are you going out being a consumer when like a super consumer, ordering DoorDash every doggone day, ordering out, spending money, maxing up credit cards, getting brand new cars when you can't afford it, not buying a property in a neighborhood that you can afford to actually pay the house off. All these financial decisions are math decisions. It's based off of math. You're trying to, what you're doing is you're trying to pretend like you're rich. And that is the fix that is fucking you up. You're trying to pretend you're rich. You're pretentious. I understand everybody wants to be rich. That's where the talk of communism comes in, because that shit ain't working out. That whole I'ma just pretend like I'm rich mindset or whatever behavior that does not work. You have to deal, in order to deal with this system, you have to deal with the reality. It's war. You are in the trenches. Ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. Ain't nobody gonna join your, mean example of rent strike or nothing like that. Ain't nobody gonna do that, because people know the game. They already know the game. The game is you gotta look at this shit serious. You gotta look at the chessboard, and you got to make your next move your best move. That's the game. And you're not taking it serious. You're dwelling in delusion land. You're not trying to make no money to basically put yourself in a financial position to where you ain't got to pay no rent. You got a house. You got a motherfucking a storage, what do they call that? Container. You got a container home on a plot of land somewhere, and that's where you live. And you ain't got no rent. You spent $25,000 between the container, getting that container built, and that's your place. Whether people like it or not, whether you like it or not, that's your reality. And it's better than living in a car. It's better than sleeping on the street. You bought a bando somewhere, and it's not in the best neighborhood, but you ain't living on the street. You not living in a car. You not living in a cardboard box. You're not even really living. You're not living with your parents. You don't really want to live with your parents. I get it, but it's looking at the chessboard just like it is. What can I do to overcome this financial system the way it is? How can I strategize and get out of this situation as realistic as I possibly can, like my life depends on it? You're not looking at it like that. I did. That's the difference between you and me. I looked at it just like it is. I have to buy some real estate no matter what. Only other way to get out of this scenario of renting, being a rent slave, I have to own. And you didn't realize that. You wanted to be pretentious and fit everything in a cookie cutter box and keep up with the Joneses and worrying about what everybody else think, and you have a fucking eviction notice on your door because of your pretentious ass. And okay, you know, it's problems with you owning a home. Only person that could take my home is the county. Ain't nobody calling me, no mortgage company calling me about no mortgage. Ain't no rent, nobody talking about I gotta collect rent or whatever, no eviction notices on my house. Okay, yeah, I live in Gary, Indiana. Who gives a fuck? Gary, Indiana is one of the most wealthiest cities in Indiana. You don't know that because you're dumb. You got other people, you know, like more popular people. I mean, I get it. I'm not the popular guy, right? Okay, whatever, cool. You got people that are popular talking about, okay, this how you flip cars, this how you buy real estate. Guess what they got? A property in Gary, Indiana, one of the hottest markets in America right now that you don't know about. In the Midwest, there's a lot of inexpensive houses. But you trying to move down south and hang out and kick it and party and bullshit, now you're getting evicted. Now you got to go somewhere else. What's the new hot spot to go to in America and where the black people migrating to? Well, you got to come back to, you know, wherever you came from. You got to go back, you know, to New York, or you got to go back to Chicago. You got to go back, you know, wherever your home that you left, you got to go back and you got to go sleep on your mama couch or sleep in your grandma couch. Yeah, you got to do that because you never addressed the problem. That was not going to address the problem. That was just going to give you a good time. And unfortunately, looking at it just like it is tough. You ain't gonna have too many smiles like that. The smiles is gonna be a little bit lesser. The enjoyment is gonna be a little bit lesser because you got to deal with the fact that you ain't rich in this world, in this country, and if you ain't got the credit and all that, you got to do it your own goddamn self. You got to come up with the money your own self from whatever you do, and that is the tough. That's the dark, you know, reality of, you know, not having enough money to be able to live the life you want to live. But guess what? Tough cookie. Go out and get the money and take it serious. When you spend money, go put that money towards making yourself wealthy and rich, not others. That's the game. You know what I'm saying? Being a goofy, right? You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Being a goofy and making everybody else rich. Now you look goofy when that eviction paperwork on the door because you can't pay for your rent. You can't pay for your car payment. You know what I'm saying? You out trying to, you know, watch TV and keep up with everybody in the comment section. You got, you know, all of this free time to do all that. But then, okay, you ain't making no money. You're not taking life serious. You think it's gonna be easy. You think life easy. You need to go watch Juvenile. You know what I'm saying? The song Juvenile, huh? You know, you need to put that on rotation. You need to wake up every day and listen to that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a problem as far as recognizing reality. It's a fight out here. It ain't easy out here. That's why they got all these gangs. These gangs of people trying to fucking fight to survive, to thrive. You know, that's why they got gangs and all of these organizations and shit. Because it's tough. Life is tough. You know, and you trying to do it individually, yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's even tougher. But if you're going to be a lone wolf about the situation, you better make the best move every time. Like you got to, you know, be calculated and precise about your decision making. Because most people operate, again, I've said this many times, most people operate within a matrix where they cannot make too many mistakes. They cannot make any financial mistakes. You know, you got below in business, you got below bow decisions and above bow decisions. And a bow is a ship. The below the ship is a bow. So if you take on water and it's above the bow, meaning above the water line, like where you can patch it up, you can fix it, and you can move on. Well, if you make a decision below the boat where water is coming in, the ship is gone. So it's very, very difficult to patch that. And that's how most people operate, because they don't have enough resources and wealth to fix and resolve the issue. Or they don't even have time to fix and resolve the issue. You know, if you're out in the middle of the ocean, like what the example I'm giving, you can't, it's nothing you could do out in the middle of the ocean like that. You know, but on land, I mean, yeah. You know, if you got the resources, yeah, no matter how bad it is, yeah, you could most likely fix it in theory. But most people don't have resources and wealth from their family or anything like that. They make any bad decisions, it's done. It's over with. You can forget about it. And it's serious. You know, and it was serious. It was serious before you was even born. Your parents probably made it look easy because they shielded you from all of the news stories and all of the problems that was going on in society. They didn't really let you know nothing or whatever. And then you realize the world is what it is, and it's very scary, and it's biased, and it's racist, and people are stingy, and so on and so forth. And unfortunately, nobody gives a fuck about you. They don't care. They don't care about your complaining. It makes good content, maybe, depending on what it is. But at the end of the day, nobody care. Because you know, people out, everybody got their own problems. And you not taking it serious by proxy of looking at it just like it is, down to the penny, making sure you have a budget, making sure, you know, you doing the things that you don't really want to do. I don't care if you don't like DoorDash or whatever, or you don't like, you know, working extra, cleaning house. I don't care if you got to clean. I don't care if you got to go back to 1950s, 1960s, shining shoes and cleaning houses. Whatever you got to do to make some extra money, unfortunately, guess what, boo-boo? You got to do it or you out the door. You ain't got the money to pay rent. You ain't got the money to pay rent. Just so be it. And then if you do something, you know, illegal, you get caught, it's even worse. You know, you going to jail for free. You know, they, you know, basically making $0 an hour in jail.
You know what else is big? No? Okay, let me tell you what's not. The bank account, the budget, the credit score, the patience, bitch. Why don't you take the keys to Miss 2800, not including parking and utilities, and shove it up here?
So I got a letter from my apartment complex to Miss Rachel Peterson Connolly. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but basically, if Ty and I choose to renew our lease in August, it's gonna cost us $4,008 a month. We live in a 2-bed, 2-bath in South Denver. Just so you don't think I'm making it up, we would be paying almost. Look at
all of the verbalism and the pretentiousness and all of that type of stuff. You know, you know, mimicking a wealthy person's behaviors and actions. Okay, that's fine, but you're not fucking wealthy. That's the problem. That's the problem. I mean, it's all right to talk proper and everything like that, but if you're actually trying to cosplay a rich and wealthy person, that's where you're fucking up at in life. That's why you're having problems with rent.
Almost as much as my parents do for a 7-bedroom, 11-acre house. Colorado, y'all are on some crack cocaine.
I have been homeless for over 100 days. I live here in this Prius, which is a rental car, and I work more than full time. I work more than 50 hours every week, and I can't qualify for an apartment in most states in America today. And, you know, I put out a couple videos recently about this, and a lot of people watched them, and there was mixed reviews. And we're at a divide in this country right now where, you know, there seems to be this idea that if you want to be able to survive and work a job and be able to afford a home and a car and things like that, the essentials, somehow that is getting misconstrued for socialism. I've been called a socialist more times in the last few days than I care to count. And how is that socialism? Because when you think about it, right, just 15 years ago, 20 years ago, people could work one job, afford to buy a home, have a car, a newer car, a yearly vacation. You go back a little bit further, like 30 years ago, one person could earn for a whole family, could have a partner, children, a new car, and a yearly vacation on one income. So how are we at this point where people like myself that are working can't afford a place to even live? But then when we ask for that, it's somehow called socialism.
Yeah, I seen y'all had some 1-bedroom luxury apartments for rent. How much they going for? Shit, like 2, 3, 4, 5. Hell, it ain't like it matter anyway. We gonna raise the shit.
So it's this Instagram, social media culture of trying to have this luxe living, this like, you know, well-to-do living, and trying to one-up everybody else and all of that. And it's like, yeah, I mean, okay, deal with this eviction, man. You know, that's what I, you know, yeah, they got vans, man, for sale, man. Go get you a cargo van, you know, get you a mattress and just go to town, man. Save up your money and just, you know, when them cold nights come in, and you're gonna think about all of them expenses and expenditures. You don't think about all of that stuff you spent your money on, Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards and figurines and just wasted bullshit that you was doing to cope with your life of, you know, basically being a single man that, you know, don't want to do no push-ups and sit-ups and don't want to, you know, just basically want to be a, you know, soft as baby shit. Yeah. I mean, you know, that's the thing. Like, life is tough, man. I'll be the first person to tell you. We could talk about how life is tough. I mean, life is tough than a motherfucker. It's supposed to be. It was designed to be tough. It wasn't easy for even from the first time you was conceived. It was a race. The race was on. You know, and it's like, yeah, unfortunately, man, it's a lot of opposition against you. See, you thinking Lil Durk just got ops and you don't have ops. Everybody got ops. You know, that, you know, shoot, like it's the haves and the have-nots. There you go. Which one are you? And if you know to have the haves, okay, and you to have-nots, why are you trying to make them rich with your, you know, delusional reality that you want to live in? You know, you want to go, you making everybody else rich. You know what I'm saying? You putting money in everybody else's pocket. And it's like, yeah, man, that's where that comes from, man. That reality of you making everybody else rich. That's why you ain't got no money.
2, 3, 4, 5. What? Like, what you mean? Bands. You're like 2, 3, 4, 5 bands. Racks, $1,000. Damn, the hood, like down the. Okay, what's the luxury features they come with? Why is so much? Shit, the refrigerator silver, and we just hit the walls with some fresh beige paint, and we just put the fake wood flow in. You ain't ready for this?
Okay, cool. So I'm having to move out of my house because I can't afford rent. So I'm moving into my parents' property. But one time I couldn't afford rent either, and I was driving down the highway to try and go get help from social services, and the hood of my car smashed into my windshield and shattered it. So I pulled over, and this lady behind me pulled over and comes out. Turns out I happen to know her, so she helps me get to the social services office, and I'm calling my dad, and he's like out of state or out of town. And as I'm there, this other lady overhears me, and she's like, I'll call AAA and have them.
And I'm gonna be honest, you know, I'm hard on simps, right? Well, you know, simps see the women that don't give them no play. You know, they see them struggling. They see it all the time. They see, okay, this woman, she don't appreciate a nice guy and all that. You know, the simps, you know, they probably could. I mean, obviously a simp could save this woman's reality, right? But you got some women that they treat simps bad. They talk, you know, cuss them out. They throw water at them, throw glasses at them, you know, treat them like shit. And then they break up, and then you know, you're a messed up individual, so you can't function in life. You can't function in life like that. So you go to jobs and you have that same type of behavior, and then you get fired, you know, and then you got to go get a lesser job, and then it's not enough to pay your rent. And it's like, yeah, you know, simps actually, they see a lot of women that, you know, they try to get with, and then they treat them like shit, and then, you know, they break up, and then they go down in the dumps. You know, next thing you know, they were single with no kids. Now they fat and they got 3 or 4 kids, and then they trying to reach out to you on Facebook. They see that shit. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, they see that. They you know, they see that, and they be like, you know what, I tried to help you, but you know, you ain't appreciate me. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like that. So yeah, I mean, it's going down in America, man. It's going down, you know. Fortunately for me, I already know life is rough. I ain't crying. I mean, yeah, it's stressful. I'm not gonna say it's not stressful, but I kind of know what's going on, and I have certain strategies that I use, and also this here book I wrote, Millionaire Savings Plan. It's better if you got, let's just say, $4,000 saved up, emergency fund. Each step you get yourself a reward. It's better to have $4,000 if you face an eviction, or you possibly, you know, something happens, you got $4,000 saved up, or even $8,000 or $32,000 saved up. Put yourself in a different scenario. You know, you got money like that when people talking about a rent strike, you know, like, oh, okay, that's interesting, you know, because you don't have to join no rent strike because you can pay your rent. You know, paying your rent is not a problem because you took enough time out of your day and respect for wisdom, you know, like the book of Proverbs, and you listen to someone trying to give you some type of financial advice. A book that only costs, it's like $10 for an ebook, less than $20 for hardcover paperback, available on brokegeniuses.com and also Amazon. You took that serious, and you know, about a year or two, your life is forever changed. And it could be that simple, you know, but you know, people, I think sometimes people like their life to be harder. You know, some people like rough times. You know, some people like, you know, some people are a glutton for punishment. You know, they like things to be kind of rough, even though they might not like it to be rough, but you know, they get used to it. But it gets worse, unfortunately. You know, it's like you got one aspect where, you know, you got people are in their car, but it gets worse. What about the people that don't have no car? You know, the people that don't even have a car, what do? They got to go out here. It's like a ecosystem. You know, they just out here, you know, trying to get some type of opportunity, right? This is Ring doorbell cameras, people coming up to their door, you know, trying to see if the door is open, you know, because it's rough out here, man. I'm just saying, it's rough out here.
Welcome to Hood Watch News. Please like and subscribe and enjoy the content.
Excuse me? Yeah. Keep running. Somebody was trying to take the mail. Seriously? Dead serious.
We got some petty thieves riding around stealing people's patio furniture. This is the second video I've seen them in.
Pretty sure you're gonna fucking tell me no, right? Fucking me. Get out of here! Really? Please do.
We can't answer the door right now.
This guy's a complete POS. When a worker goes in the back, he steals his tip money.
That's crazy. He's taking the tip jar money. Hell no. That's crazy. Oh man.
Don't forget about your other options. This lady comes out just a little too late to catch this guy.
Using Toast or has a location, you know, that
Actually, they don't understand.
What is that? What the hell? That's crazy.
Notice I was there too. I'm just trying to get my things too and go home.
This guy's refusing to leave.
Sorry.
It's crazy when the police isn't a threat anymore.
I'm calling the police. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
God damn. What the? She need to come to Chicago. She wouldn't be. She wouldn't be outside. Shoot, so there's be so many thirsty dudes that like chicks with curves.
Don't forget to keep your doors locked. The owner of these vehicles left all of their cars unlocked. Also, try to refrain from keeping your personal information in your car. Check this guy out. 4 in the morning, he's just standing on these people's porch, looking at a bunch of guys. Must be another grinder situation. I'm learning.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Please be aware of your surroundings. This lady gets carjacked. Make sure you keep those doors locked. We always got some late night door checkers. Not sure what they got going on.
Yeah, somebody did that to me. They just took the picture and took the food. So it's crazy, man. But you know what? I don't know what happened to that dude. I did send that video to DoorDash. They will kick you off, and then and that's they'll kick you off, man, if you be doing that, they'll suspend your account for a while. You do it again, man, they'll boot you off the platform. But yeah, like people be doing that, man. That's tripped out, man. Because I had caught somebody doing that, like, my let me share my situation that happened to me. Let me see. Let me share my let's see here. Here you go. It's a fat boy taking my food. Let's see here. Big boy. He was hungry. Feed me, Seymour. Yeah, it's Northwest Indiana. That's Gary, right there, just taking food, just broke as hell. Like, I mean, that's a level of broke that I don't want no part. Like, if you can't feed yourself like food, you can't get some ground, you can't afford to buy some ground beef and some bread, because what I'm saying, some potatoes. Like, you can't feed yourself. Like, that's rough, man. I mean, they got food pantries though. Like they got food pantries where they give you free food. If you broke, you can get a food stamp card or whatever, and get food. I mean, like, I'm not saying if you broke, but like if you make a lower amount of money a year, like, you can get food stamps. You can get like welfare. And it's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you qualify and you got hard times, it's nothing wrong with you trying to get some type of, incentive to help you. You pay for other people to get it when you were working, when you were gainfully employed. You know, you pay for other people to get those same subsidies. So if you need them, if it's a time where you got to get them, you shouldn't feel ashamed if you need that. You shouldn't feel ashamed about that. And you should, you know, get help if you need it. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think people are not getting the help, and they're trying to do other stuff, man, to supplement that. And it's crazy. You know, it's like, man, go down there and sit down with them people and get your food stamps so you can stop having to call DoorDash and order food and say you ain't get it. And you don't have to go steal other people's food that order DoorDash. You know, go out and get the help that you need, the resources that you need, you know, instead of trying to take other people's stuff and all of that. You know, people can lose their job. Like if you tell people, you know, and I know people don't care, but people lose their job if they say they ain't get their food. You know, they'll lose their job. Like people will get kicked off. You know what I'm saying? You taking somebody's job because your stupid ass don't want to deal with your baby daddy or whatever.
Hell no, I don't want to give you what I had to stay up and work for while you was in the bed sleep. Like, no, I don't feel sorry for you. No, you decided to place yourself wherever you want to be in this world, and you got to live with that. And you can go out deal with that. If I just feel nice and I want to just bless you, okay, cool, I will. But I don't feel no type of obligation to give nobody nothing who ain't putting in that work like me. And that's around the board. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel sorry for nobody who ain't putting in that work like me. If you ain't in that with me putting in that work, I don't feel sorry for you. Wherever you land in this world, you had the chance to work hard. You didn't. So you live where you live like you live, and that's what your life is, because you thought losing was cool.
The shit's chess, it ain't checkers.